Ashrah, demon of the Netherrealm, is on a journey of redemption. She used to just be a demon who only knows pain and suffering, but after journeying outside of Netherrealm, she found peace and beauty. Ashrah then fled the Sisterhood of Shadow. Along the way, she found a magical crystal to Shah. When used to slay demons, it purifies her soul. Then she decides to be a devil hunter in order to reach absolution. And interestingly enough, this description of Ashrah is almost identical to her lore in the Midway games. Well, except for the parts in Armageddon. I'll talk about that later on. The gang asked why Ashrah was being pursued. She explains that after running away from Quan Chi, he sent his minions to go after her. So now Ashrah is doing an Uno reverse and going after Quan Chi, which led her to the living forest. Quan Chi built a device known as the Soul Stealer, and he's testing it out in the forest filled with many dead souls. So the gang agrees to help out Ashrah's quest.
Any idea how we buddied up with
She then explains that Quan Chi and Shang Tsung have a benefactor, and that the benefactor was the one that taught them both everything they knew. We jump cut to Quan Kai's side, and see Havoc, Nitara, and even Darius and Serena.
Darius? Serena?
Serena's new and totally original design looks great. She even has a demon form, which was only mentioned in her Armageddon bio. Really appreciate them using obscure lore like this. And Cage Match too. And also Darius, one of the most who the hell are you kind of character. And I absolutely love it. Weird and obscure characters that developers aren't sure if they'll work in the base roster are perfect choices to be cameo fighters, and them being in the story mode is just icing on the cake. In the Midway timeline, these characters that Quan Chi are working with are neutral alliance. They do not aid outwards actions, nor do they help Earthrealm in their plight. In M1K however, well yes, they're technically only working with Quan Chi for their own benefits. They are also pretty much just regular bad guys here. Both Nitara and Havoc possess half a red gemstone. What this gem is, why either one of them have the other half, we don't know. Maybe this is a Defenders of the Realm reference. Nitara gladly gives hers, while Havoc hesitates. He wants reassurance from Quan Chi that he will give him spells that will bring down Sida's government. Serena and Nitara help out here.
That he's delivered for Nitara's Vaternians is all the proof you need.
Great job Mara Junit, who is also the voice of Sindel. It's so great to hear a professional voice actress doing a great job here. I wonder what I'm foreshadowing.
Oh my gosh, Megan! Megan! Ah!
Serena's right. Because of Quan Chi's magic, my realm's people are no longer poisoned by sunlight. We've finally escaped the shadows.
Sorry. You got that, Megan. You got that. Woo!
I am holding back all my urges to shit talk Nitara, but I'm saving it for a rant I've prepared later on in this video. Havoc reluctantly gives his gem, and Quan Chi starts the Soul Stealer.
Quan Chi stares unblinkingly.
Our gang catch up.
Earthrealm is in grave danger.
You guys are extremely close to being detected by them, you know. Then they are off to stop Quan Chi. However, Johnny stops Kenshi. Now I want to take some time to talk about the relationship between Johnny and Kenshi, because for many, this is considered one of the best bromances in the entire series. I'd say there are 3 acts in this relationship. The first act is the first time these two characters met. Kenshi tries to steal Sento from Johnny, and Johnny beats the shit out of him. Not bad as far as first impressions go. Then we move on to Act 2. Johnny and Kenshi's rivalry. It's safe to say that during the months of training in the Wuxi Academy, these two were probably not seeing eye to eye. And you definitely see this in chapter 4. This feud really starts to heat up when Johnny mocks Kenshi for ditching the Yakuza. Despite Kenshi pouring his heart out to Johnny about how bad and wicked the Yakuza are.
The Yakuza are leeches.
Johnny looks like he doesn't seem to care. And why would he? No matter how noble Kenshi's causes, he still burst into his house trying to take Sento away. The rift that happened in Act 1 is probably the main reason why Johnny and Kenshi are struggling to be friends with each other. But all that changes when Melina lunges onto Kenshi. And here we get to Act 3. When Johnny wakes up in the flesh pits to see Kenshi mortally wounded, his attitude towards him changes 180. The selfish, arrogant asshole Johnny Cage, who chose his career over his own wife, was the first one to rush over to care for Kenshi. You know what I think? I think these two wanted to be friends from the beginning. They would never show their true feelings with each other due to the events in Act 1. But now that Kenshi has been severely damaged, Johnny decides to show his true selfless feelings towards Kenshi. And Kenshi warmly accepts it. Later on, Johnny brings up the Nitara to motivate Kenshi to keep moving forward.
Look at me, Cage. I'm useless.
Hey, you are not giving up. The Nitara need you, remember?
Which proves that despite looking like he didn't care in chapter 4, he actually did deep down. And Kenshi, despite looking like he doesn't care about Johnny's movies.
Oh, in Fists of Iron, we did this thing where like
we're not basing strategy on your movies, Cage.
Admits that he also watched some too.
This reminds me of Wicked Planet.
The Manticore battle.
Yes, it was a pain to shoot, but man, did it come out epic.
I can picture it exactly.
All this culminates to this scene here, where Kenshi wants to help in the fight, but Johnny wants him to stay back due to his injuries.
Whoa there, big fella. This stops where you get off.
Aww.
You heard her.
Give me your sword.
Kinda sad.
When I first saw this scene, I thought Johnny wanted to take his sword away, so that he can force him not to fight. However...
Oh?
What?
Johnny gives Sento to Kenshi. Everything Kenshi did, everything Kenshi's worked for, has all been for Sento. And the reason he was rewarded Sento is because...
You saved my life.
Now, technically, yes, he kind of saved his life, but to me, I actually interpret this line a bit differently. I interpret you saved my life as, you changed me for the better. Johnny starts off this journey wanting nothing more than to better his career, but then he ends up caring for his friends, caring for the people he loves. Johnny gave Sento to Kenshi to complete Kenshi's ultimate goal, because Kenshi completed Johnny's.
Bro.
Thus blossomed the best bromance in MK history. Or, more than a bromance for some people. The gang head off to fight Quan Chi and his minions. Chapter 6. Ashrah. No! And an all-out brawl begins.
Yes, Megan, give me the screams. The cameo fighters are fighting. This is really cute. Go Darius! Go Darius! Yeah, let's go Darius!
Everyone gets a fighting partner. Well, everyone except Size-Off. Size-Off just stands there and does nothing until the gameplay kicks in. I hate to be rude here, but Size-Off, you should have totally went and stopped Quan Chi from activating the Soul Stealer.
I'm ruined!
Even Havoc is fighting two people at the same time. Do better, you Ashrah sim.
That blade's enchanted.
This line delivery is so bad that one of my fans turned it into a soundboard on my Discord server. Then they fight. Fun fact about the Living Forest stage. Using the powers of free camera, if you make a 180 turn, you can actually see the Soul Stealer, which makes sense right now. But back when Ashrah was fighting Baraka and Size-Off, the Soul Stealer was also right next to them. I'd like to imagine that while the heroes were discussing, the villains were right next to them the whole time.
My Chris senses him. He's nearby. They were sent by Quan Chi, my former master. I was part of his...
Ashrah wins.
I am one step closer to redemption.
Did you just kill Nitara? That'd be funny.
I love the way how Serena shoves Kun Leo away. The Soul Stealer activates and starts taking the souls of the Living Forest.
It's a... soul...
The forest is now withered and destroyed, but it might not be completely destroyed. In Invasions mode, when you enter the Living Forest Mesa, the map is split into two sections, a normal forest, then a ruined one. Why is no one stopping him? Are they stupid? With the mass amount of souls conjured together, it creates...
Hello there, Reptile. We apologize for being late. Demolishing the child took longer than expected.
This is Ermac, a body filled with thousands of souls, and he looks ugly.
Ermac's design in this game is alright. He still has to show his stupid lips and his stupid nose.
I give him a 7. I actually like most of it except the face.
Exactly, same for me.
Everything's good except the face, and his face kind of makes it a 7 in my opinion. Just cover this stupid mouth.
How about no? When the DLC trailer dropped, people were screaming and shambles for how ugly he looked. It was trending on Twitter that day for how bad he looked. People were begging for Ermac to put a mask on, and NRS actually pulled a Sonic movie and gave him a mask. And now he looks great. Thank you NRS for covering up his ugly ass fuck face. Quan Chi then does the meme pose, and then Ermac starts ragdolling everyone. After an unnecessary stylish combo onto Ashrah, Ashrah now has to handle two thugs that don't fucking matter. This is the corrupted forest. It's now burning with green fire, and the faces on the trees have become skulls.
Quan Chi must succeed if I'm to liberate Order Realm.
Don't care.
Next Ashrah fights Quan Chi, with a bald ass render of Ermac.
Bald.
Quan Chi is the first DLC character that is fightable in the story mode, and his moveset in the story mode is very different compared to his DLC counterpart. In the story mode, he has a lot of borrowed moves from Shang Tsung in MK11, and his grab animation is exactly the same as Kung Lao. DLC Quan Chi, however, is way more completed. He now possesses portal abilities, summons creepy Cthulhu creatures, and tentacles. Congrats on being the next Vel'Koz and Aleoi for the community. His DLC moveset is so different compared to the story mode that people theorize that this could be Quan Chi after the events of the story mode. Ashrah wins, and then Ermac starts ragdolling everyone again. Kenshi desperately tries to save his friends, but then also gets ragdolled too. Kenshi then hears a faint sound. Then his ancestors give him daredevil powers. He then stabs his katana into Ermac, and
It siphoned his souls. It now has his power.
That was easy.
Also, what is this move where Ermac machine gun fires projectiles? And now, it's time for Kenshi to shine.
Nope.
You're still playing his Ashrah, and Kenshi is the cameo fighter.
This is a battle of magic swords.
We'll see which is more enchanted.
#SonicHaXD. By the way, Kenshi's katana is correct here. No Tsugaru mix-ups here. They take on Ermac, and just like story mode Quan Chi, story mode Ermac is also a really incomplete character here too, borrowing moves from Noob Saibot in MK11, while DLC Ermac is probably one of the coolest depictions of Ermac ever. By the way, there's a giant conspiracy with Ermac that he was actually going to be the 24th playable character in this game.
But the recent vinyl soundtrack packaging features a version of Character Select with a different character layout, including Ermac.
I highly recommend the 4th Snakes video on this if you want to learn more. They defeat Ermac, and then he starts having a tummy ache.
Princess.
Then we get a hint of what's to come.
I'll find you.
Jared! Oh no!
Watch him.
Excuse me?
Ashrah shuts down the Soul Stealer. Then one of the souls targets Quan Chi and whitewashes him. Finally, a character that I'm happy they turned white, so no one in the community can come to a consensus as to what the f just happened. The descriptive audio says,
The ghost sucks blue energy from his face, turning his skin ash white, then vanishes.
The most common theory is that his soul got sucked, but I think we got the answer in an intro dialogue.
I blame you for my wizened condition.
Shriveled or wrinkled with age, so I guess the ghost made him older. They then take Quan Chi to question him of Shang Tsung's plans, and during all of this, every other minion runs away, including Ermac, who Kenshi was supposed to keep an eye on. Oh my bad.
Oh, I get it, cause I'm
gay. Johnny then offers Sizoth and Ashrah to come with them to Earth Realm, and Ashrah gladly accepts, but unfortunately, Baraka, who is thick as f here for some reason, cares deeply for his colony. So he stays in Outworld, and that's pretty much it for Baraka in this whole entire story mode, and characters being cut off from the story mode is quite a common thing that happens moving forward. We cut to the Ying Fortress, where Shang Tsung reports the progress to his benefactor. Multiple Soul Stealers are under construction, and there is an army ready to be commanded once they are fed enough souls. All things that are setting up Act 3, and that's basically Chapter 6. Welcome to the Double ID, interesting intro dialogues, where we look at character intro dialogues to gain more information about the current chapter we're on. Ashrah, just like Serena, also has a demon form.
It's hard to believe there's a demon inside there.
My true face would horrify you, Cage.
Can all demons assume humanoid form?
Only those of us who are Cambians.
And finally, I have way too much to talk about in this next section. Let's break it down. Ashrah and Nitara. Okay, let's get the elephant in the room out of the way. Megan Fox.
I am Megan Fox, and I'm voicing Nitara.
Never thought I'd meet a Veternian.
Let alone that one would kill you. Of course I fly. I have wings. Don't I scare you in the least? I should have killed you at Ying Fortress. I should have. Idiot.
Sindel's soul wants vengeance.
I'm not the one who killed her.
You're like a nightmare come true.
For others, I'm a fantasy.
When the trailer dropped for Nitara, I knew for a fact that Megan Fox was going to be bad.
You Outworlders believe yourselves so
But holy shit, did she manage to exceed my expectations. Her voice is so bad that people are retroactively praising Ronda Rousey's performance.
What the hell are you talking about?
Celebrity voice acting has always had a pretty bad rep, but now because of Megan Fox, people will have Vietnam War flashbacks whenever a celebrity is announced to voice a character. Despite her horrendous voice acting, at least she did a decent job with the battle grunt.
Yes, Megan, give me the screams.
Oh wait, never mind. Christina V was the one who did them. Why not just get her to play Nitara, an actual voice actress? How much did it cost? How much did it cost to put her first takes into the game?
Veternus has it's wronged you.
I feel like you could have used that money to hire Anthony Starr to do Homelander.
Flap, flap, flap goes that little mouth of yours.
Megan Fox has done irredeemable damage to the vampire's legacy. But let's stop beating a dead horse. Everyone unanimously agrees that Nitara's voice sucks, so let's instead talk about other aspects of the character, such as design. Ashrah has her interest, yes. Don't forget, this is a double let's break it down feature. We're talking about both of them. When Ashrah first debuted, people were a bit mixed with her, some not even recognizing her.
I am Ashrah.
Nitara?
But I personally do like her new design. Her appearances, like Johnny said.
You look human. Mostly.
I think showing her demon features help emphasize her character. Someone who's trying to purify herself to look more human. But she's not quite there yet. I personally still wish she had one little detail for her design. Her big dumb hat. I don't care if it's not practical. It's what makes her iconic. Luckily, if you want to see a more midway design for her, then check out the movie Mortal Kombat Legends Cage Match. As for Nitara's design, it's good, though I personally prefer her midway design. Now I am going to go into detail why I, or 3D era Nitara fan, am absolutely disappointed with the current version of Nitara, and even a little bit with Ashrah. Let me tell you the story of two beings looking for absolution. During the Midway timeline, Shao Kahn loved conquering realms, and one of these unfortunate realms was Veternus, the vampire realm. Once Shao Kahn merged Veternus to Outworld, Nitara was forced into this unknown wasteland, and now ponders a plan to save her world. What made Nitara, and even Ashrah interesting, is that while the heroes are busy fighting the bad guys, Ashrah and Nitara are busy dealing with their own missions, making the world of Mortal Kombat feel more grand and fascinating. After using Reptile and Cyrax to do her bidding, she finally completes her mission of saving her vampire realm. And like I said earlier on in this video, Ashrah's 3D era story is pretty much the same as the one in M1K, but Mortal Kombat Armageddon is where everything changes. You see, the Data Shah is not a demon slaying device that would purify Ashrah for each soul she killed. It is instead a curse that corrupts the user into thinking they are on some sort of greater purpose. And the truth is, the blade is solely driven by bloodlust, and all it wants is for the wielder to kill, and kill. Ashrah's next destination to purge the evil from the world was Veternus, the realm from which the blade came from. And so, Ashrah went on a killing spree on an unending amount of Veternians, which turned Ashrah into Nitara's sworn enemy. A lot of this lore was gathered thanks to History Behind the Warriors videos. Go check them out to learn more details that I skimmed through. I really love this short story. The main moral of this tale being, don't judge a book by its cover. Ashrah is the white angelic deity who purges evil, while Nitara is the dark evil vampire that uses people for her own goals. In the intro to Armageddon, You can see Ashrah on the forces of light, while Nitara is on the forces of dark. But once you look into their stories, Ashrah is a genocidal maniac, while Nitara is the savior of her race. In a weird way, Ashrah and Nitara are the yin-yang of each other, but inverted. This is my favorite story in the 3D era saga, and I've been very excited to see the story depicted in a modern light, and after 17 years, I'm severely disappointed. Now don't get me wrong, I do like Ashrah in M1K. I do like her personality when she's hanging out with the heroes, but part of me wishes that they still went with the corruption plotline to tie her connections with Nitara even more. Now, there are really tiny hints that it still could happen.
Ashrah is hunting for you.
You know of my Chris.
There's no Vaternian who doesn't.
Destroying Vaternus will assure my ascension.
Committing genocide will expiate your sins?
But I doubt they'll do it, and the main reason is that it'll turn her into a villain. Cage Match and Onslaught didn't do it, so I don't see the future of this game doing it either. Again, I still think she's a good character, and they are setting up other things for her in the future. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for Nitara. Remember everything cool I just mentioned about Nitara for the past 5 minutes? Well, scratch all of that.
Scratch that.
And let's instead focus on something we've never explored on with Nitara. Vampire lore.
Sure.
Basically, Vaternians are immortal, and have eaten all the creatures in their realm.
If your species is immortal and it procreates...
You see now the crux of our problem.
So Nitara is going to capture humans as food supplies. Boring. This is one of the most boring directions you can take this character. Castlevania did this way better already. Then Nitara starts working for Quan Chi, because Quan Chi cast a spell that makes every Vaternian immune to sunlight, which is stupidly OP in my opinion. And that's it. That's her whole entire story. From a self-serving outcast, who's on a mission that's not related to Outworld or Earthrealm's conflict, to now just a pawn in the grand scheme of things.
This could literally not get any weirder.
It can get weirder.
In the intro dialogues, it's implied that Vaternians, we're not born as vampires. It was something they chose to do for immortality.
You could help Vaternus but choose not to.
I am not obliged to save it from its hubris. To gain immortality, Vaternus has debased itself.
Why the fuck would you write this in? The tragedy of being a vampire is that you're forced to feed on blood. But now that it's apparently a choice to be a vampire, this moral dilemma is completely ruined.
We can't help what we are.
Yes. Yes, you can.
That we feed on blood doesn't make us evil.
Yes, it does. You dumb fucking bitch. Your culture chooses to eat people to gain immortality. You people are a worse disease than Tarkat. How does it feel to wait 17 years just to see your favorite 3D era character become a useless blood-sucking abomination? Featuring Megan Fox.
Feels great.
Here's a hot take, or not. I think Mortal Kombat 2021 had a better depiction of Nitara. She doesn't talk, and we don't know her backstory, which in this case is kind of a net positive. I think the worst thing about Nitara is that I don't think she's coming back anytime soon now. I don't think people like this version of Nitara and want her back in the next game. I think she's just going to be replaced by Scarlet. Let's wait another 17 years for NRS to reset the universe again and write Nitara back into her former glory, or get the MK Legends team to make a movie on Nitara's journey. Nitara is my favorite character in the 3D era, and she is the worst character in Mortal Kombat 1. Actually, there might be another contender for that spot. So let's wait until we talk about that guy before we determine who the worst is.
When the least.
God damn, your voice is like nails on a chalkboard.
So I scrapped this animation, and the reason is because, well, let me just show you why.